So.
This is the one thing I didn't think of. I just printed out some 8.5 by 11 sheets last time that said.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at.
Most people aren't familiar with government health. I could make just, I could just put, just write a second and just stick it out there. Yeah, sure.
I can print
One,
out,
two.
like,
I can
signs,
see 1, 2. No, wrong way. 1, 2,
can?
3.
We got access to a logo.
Yeah,
No.
I could send you an E2 Tech logo and you could print a couple of them. Or just print that thing that you did. Just print us 2 more of those if you would.
that just says E2 chapter.
Yeah. And we'll just, that'll
Stick
get
them out the side.
Yeah.
Don't worry about a thing yet, I got everything under control, honey. I'm feeling bored now.
That's good.
Yeah.
All you know is it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. I'm excited about that. Okay. Let's try that again. No, I don't want you. Get out. Okay, I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4 chairs. Okay, I think I got it. You want to check it? Yeah.
It doesn't look horrible, huh? Let me
So we've
stand
got
up there
the
where
AT
Bill
Tech.
will be. See what you think. We
Yeah.
don't know how the audio is gonna be.
No, it's
Am I
You can-
on?
yeah. You're on, and there's 4.
Go ahead.
There's 4 chairs. Sit at this end one. See how? Yeah, no, you're
Why is
fine.
the image reversed?
I've.
I do have some thoughts on that matter.
That's good. Maybe pop up just a little so you get the whole screen.
I have the people the slides that are
Come
on,
our
like we
way.
have a
Okay,
PDF of
this
the
way.
slides, so.
This way.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay. We're live. We're
All right,
going.
now this is kind of mean, but I say we hide that that Wi-Fi thing, like that you have in your hands. Let's
This,
not
yeah,
let that
yeah.
out. 'Cause
I would
if
agree.
we Not have everybody connecting to the Wi-Fi. They could use their cell phones. All right, we are good to go if you want to throw down some tape for safety.
The light looked very good.
Oh, thank you. You want to get us to it.
Okay. Now we just need to hope that the audio's good and.
We're gonna hope the best on the audio. For Ferdinand, Agressive.
How'd you hurt your foot there?
I fell down the stairs,
Oh.
as one is wont to do.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, so we should
We'll get you set up with the iPad. Good job. Oh, I'm gonna hide my,
Okay, so that's where.
I've got some tape if you need it.
Oh, I just gave him mine.
Okay.
You got that. That's all right.
Elaine, how do we turn on the microphones and everything?
Its sound system is on.
Okay, sorry.
It's just a matter of, I can get them on now.
Okay. And then.
I tested them early this morning. Testing.
Yeah. You can turn it back up if you want it, so I'll just turn them on that way. There we go.
Just
And they have 2 different gains, so you do all the way up to the
all the
on.
way out.
Yep. Very good.
And I put fresh batteries in them. So
Okay.
hopefully, I've learned my lesson. I always put fresh batteries before every.
Excellent. That's very smart. Yeah, the iPad is over there.
Yeah.
Timmy,
What?
can you say something in the microphone on the podium?
Right here. I love you, darling.
Turn it on.
I love you, darling.
Oh, I heard that. Wow, he's going for some points, isn't he?
How's that?
Okay.
He's-
Mr. Smooth, we'll call him.
You all set there? Are you all set for that speaker?
Yep.
All right, I'm leaving for the casino.
Okay.
If I live for the casino, I'm good, without her, yeah, I come,
Okay.
she would.
I never had that.
No.
Sorry, it's all good together.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, it's funny, you look at it, you go, yeah, they are.
Yeah, I think you'll be great that way. They won't trip over anything.
It's, what do you think about that sort of classic 89, when you're rolling in? It was just this absurd.
Position, so they're not in the same unit, but it's still.
These are.
You went home, you kept all that, you went home.
You don't get this bad.
Oh, yes, she wanted my name, we leave, but we'll stop at a restaurant.
She's getting stuff set up.
She's moving a little slow.
Oh my God, she tells me.
Just give it right back. I just gonna say, yeah, great.
Nice.
John, moving?
Yeah, you got home, man. See you there.
Hey, look at everybody else.
Okay, girl, that's right.
Like the masks.
Okay, all right. Yeah, usually coming out of the oven. Oh,
Yeah.
Plus that's that.
100 plus, I think last time.
That was good. Apple cinnamon. Apple cinnamon. Apple.
What's the next?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And,
Yeah. The applicant, Advocacy,
yeah,
partnership,
and it's not. No, you're.
Wow, that's
find your badge?
I didn't even need it, so I moved it to the side.
What, do you fall and hurt your ankle? No. Always.
Let me take it off.
Downstairs, downstairs. It was kind of funny, it's like we're doing the fly. Yeah, I just remember like all of a sudden being on the ground. Aiden said that I was clapping my arms. I guess I did. You're trying. I was like, you catch yourself. It's just great. So, yeah. But anyway, I kind of started working on it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna just. Okay. Something that's like, by the way.
Fire in the fireplace?
I know, I was just looking at that going, oh, nice.
I would say right here.
That would save a lot of money.
Yeah.
We do it during the week, but on the weekend, we don't have to work so on the fire. It's nice if you're sitting in the living room, the fire's going up. Yeah. It's kind of a waste to get home from work, start a fire for 2 hours.
Yeah, but we need to. Probably a project, you gotta follow, right? And then it left it up and up. Yeah. Well, we will talk about it. My operation.
My son is 11.
Do you want to live here? No, I'm good. I'm gonna kind of stand in the corner for a little bit. And tell me what you do. I'm not. I just have an interview. I'm usually like, we will online block, but so you help us. That is,
Morning. I'm sorry, I didn't address it.
cool.
I don't know.
You too.
I don't know. They didn't want you to register. They did. I'm glad you checked.
Okay.
You never know. It's like an external.
Yeah.
All
right.
job.
right now.
Yeah, so right now, your current protocol has your FSI and the first one. Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it, my. Apparently they are delicious.
Yes? I have to say. Looks like. Yeah.
So, the last one.
Come on. She does. She's out there. Yeah. So that's not really. No, she comes. I thought maybe there's somebody that could be pulled outside. Maybe there's somebody else. I could ask Curtis if there's somebody else.
Is Elaine around?
I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
I feel somewhere. She was here a minute ago.
Oh, okay. Might be
I'm
in
in
the
her office.
Okay, thanks.
The, was the same event on Governor's Day?
It was.
7.
So one time, shortly after, it must have been December last year. No, it must have been after the governor moved.
Just after the election.
Yeah, just after the election. Does that sound right? I think so.
Just after, it was just after the election.
Yeah, she had not, well, the governor hadn't been in post very long. This was, would have been
She wasn't supposed to fall, so it must have been January. She wasn't supposed to December.
2020, I went to 2018, right? And so maybe this was more January, February, something. So yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. She hasn't been in this position for.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that she moved on, correct?
Indeed.
Jessica Faye registered.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm Catherine.
Hey, Catherine. I'm Sarah Woods.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Tetra Tech.
First time here, so
Nice. Excellent.
looking forward to it.
Good. Have you been with TRC for long?
No, actually about a year now.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a conference there.
Oh, great. Oh, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good group to be part of.
Definitely. Thank you.
Mhm.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Kay. I'm well.
Well,
I finished it and I have a scone in my pocket, so. Good again. Thought about putting some oranges in my pocket, but that didn't seem like a good idea.
you do yourself, break it or straight it or?
Just sprained.
Yeah.
Sprained her ankle. I know.
So.
It's not fun.
It's, it's something.
Yeah. You had enough to do.
Sorry. It's just.
So was there a table maybe or not? That's just in case idea, but this is a pretty crowded room, so if you don't, it's fine.
That table looks free, but I don't know if I want to put it there. I
Okay.
don't know if
Somebody's bag is next to it.
That's Marty's bag.
Oh, okay.
We can find that.
Yeah.
She's gonna
earn $10. She's got it.
There's one on that side too, and I don't know, like, is revision coming, there's one down there. Like, what else?
I'm guessing the way it's looking right now, any spare table is up for grabs.
Okay.
I'm
Alright.
claiming it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She says. Alright, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Do you want, we have a reporter that wants to talk about the bag.
I just love having a coat room. It's so simple.
I know.
I'm Catherine with TRC.
Hi, I'm Jim Cap.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. You've been a member for very long?
Early 2000s. When E2 Tech came, pretty much since the beginning.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
All kitchens that pull it together. So set up coffee and breakfast goods up back. Still, we're gonna let Bill decide where everybody sits.
All right.
What order he wants to do everyone in.
I don't know this space.
Yeah, it's not a bad space. I mean, it's great for us. And it's a good feed instead of a really nice space. So. We're gonna be live casting it from there. Got about 20 people signed up.
That's great.
Yeah. Using
That's actually a really, yeah, and I love that you guys did that too, because I'm sure a lot of it's
and can't testify, maybe driving an hour and a half or something like that, helps us reach, Bangor.
Yeah,
How are you doing with them?
2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
enjoying it?
yeah, I love it. Yeah, I do.
Good. And so you're, part of the action is legislative?
Yeah, I'm a legislative advocate. So, and I focus on environmental resources, Aggressive, transportation.
Oh, wow, you've got a pretty good,
Conservation forestry, yeah, inland fisheries.
oh my God.
Resources.
So you got all the natural resources, plus criminal justice and transportation.
Yeah, which is actually funny enough, like my work background is in both of those spheres, so.
Ah, but the natural resource stuff is new?
No, I worked for Chilwaukee.
Oh.
Doing, I was doing IT and stuff, but then, connect on your environmental system. So I'm one of my colleagues, my summer was.
Oh, who's that?
Tom Twist.
Oh.
He's the sustainability coordinator.
Let's see, Susan Adams?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Susan and Mark,
so I worked with Susan and Mark for Sherlock for 50 years.
Oh, wow. Steve Elms.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've visited them a few times up north in our new endeavor too.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance. That's been for quite a long time. I haven't seen them actually since they've left us, but I mean, but yeah, but we stay in contact, and that's.
Yes, it's a possibly good for options that you got to see.
It is. Yeah, who knows what's next? It'll be
Hopefully they're
something.
slowing down.
Yeah. Hopefully Susan never had. Mark's, I think, Mark, she'll just like. As she always has.
Electricity in your name, you can do this. I thought I could send you a today if you wanted. Oh, maybe I'll just.
Just temporarily sign my stuff.
Yeah,
And
Then go around.
we can move.
Sort everything out.
That I will hand to you. Yeah. Yeah, you can post things going for you at your. Yeah. Yeah. Stay real busy. Yeah.
That was it.
I think I would
What
actually
you need
say.
to know is.
I think it's the right
Please be partnering with my to bring, what I'm leading up to it for us is.
I went to that voice, you know.
So. Bio-based, I think one of the big things. Together investor summit. So it's spring. So it wouldn't hurt actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Golden Service Center, like towards the
Investors.
Lake.
Bio-based. So yeah, we can run through these real quick, so you can see if you want to look at, you should be able to. I changed. Yeah, you can go back or forward.
Anyway, a lot of businesses in Portland are taking this advice. And we knew South Portland would be a friendly place for this. We are a green town in the first place. And we have, first of all, the energy that exists and the page is single report, right? So it's like, I'm not. The issue is like, it's a different thing. So glad I got the crayon.
Yeah.
Just to continue to color. Yeah. But there's a good sort of.
Oh, and it's funny to show, but in case
I
you're,
love the fact that.
the answer is 1403. That's how much that adds up to.
Oh.
1,403. Yeah, you can quiz the audience, see how good people are.
Focus on, you know.
Fun. That's,
What did I send my dad now?
that's,
Okay,
yeah.
One is red bag.
Yeah, I guess, well, he sold his business there, the pub, so, that's.
What's your favorite project today? Is that work? Working on? Oh, wow.
That's Katie Collins, that's an energy. She actually just like. Yeah.
You can't do it.
And was that in Maine or else? It was awesome. Yeah. Looking for it, it's looking up for the state, looking for control. Really, really sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really pleased.
I'm sorry that.
I don't know, maybe you can tell me what's the best way to handle this. To somebody.
Could be good.
We could award it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Why? Your town leadership.
Had my cold, yeah, I can tell that my hands are cold, like yours.
Well, I'm thinking that mine were, so.
No, well, that tells me just how cold mine are. It's interesting, I was remarking, typically, I don't know if you've been to events here. with-
Hey, Barry.
Typically, we have
Didn't
rose.
hear, no.
Rose.
Really?
Yeah, so this will be.
Good, good, good. We're happy to have you.
Maybe it'll generate more discussion.
Yeah.
That would be-
How are you? Nice to see you, sir.
Thanks for doing.
T1?
Yeah. I'm very much aggressive.
The plaque that we want to award, she has it. So I just let her know we suggested
So we just had a program call yesterday, we were talking about.
Yeah.
Forum on it.
Yeah, that's right.
I did email.
Who was suggested, Michael Stoddard.
Oh, of course, no way. She's part of it.
Yeah.
That's, it's housed at the office. We are. Special section.
We're gonna be closed, focusing on food establishments.
First one in the country.
Oh, well, yeah.
Really?
And we forward.
And this is really coming full circle because it was my attending your meeting that I learned that ownership of the business is. And so otherwise I'm not yeah, sometimes with a business that has.
We got offered up, we shot straw, they figured, Michael, I get less whack than they. But we're, not bad.
Yeah, we do. We got some good stuff going. Thanks for that. Great. Well, you can
Hey, thanks.
get some coffee.
I will.
And they're also catering services. So we've got a bakery out either end of town, outside and. Well, it's fun to like meet you in Augusta. Bring a copy. I have one 2 weeks.
It is.
We could,
Did you want a white BMW? I think you all passed me on the train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So where are you going? Okay. Yeah, what time did you get up here? No, what time did you get up? Did you get your day going?
Oh, I got it.
Okay, let's go when I got up. Is that the normal time for you or about 7? I was coming. I saw you.
You're late.
They are very high.
He's, trying to do it like right as we're
Doing you? I don't know.
Is that right?
I had a.
Welcome, we'll get some coffee.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Misdirection.
Correct. He's charged, anymore.
You know, I was gonna let Bill Ferdinand, sort that out, but actually, I mean, I don't do this, like, Bill could change it. For example, put Jerry. You might be on the end there. We're live streaming here. It looks like it's working.
Great.
Welcome.
So Mike.
Okay. Yep.
Kind of original instructor.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Early riser also.
Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah. I need to leave by 5:15.
Okay, wow, just start cooking here.
Sometimes I guess, so, hey, Dave. Sometimes I guess those on.
There he is.
Sure.
Right.
Speech writer doing that?
Stay around. Good.
That's.
Good morning. Yes, yeah. We got you set up? Yeah. Good, welcome. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good discussion. Yeah. This one. Yeah, MRI is going.
Hey, Marty, how are you?
Good, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, they are. Good, you look sharp. Yeah, yep, good to see you, thank you for coming. Absolutely. Good.
How are you?
Yes, I'm going to, just have to stand up here.
So what's interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry that
Yeah. I know. Hall rentals.
Exactly right.
But you're not guilty as charged, so sometimes it's a great guy. So, but I'm learning. So
Absolutely. I just don't know. Sometimes twice a day.
Really? Okay. Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks for coming. Bill? I can
Hi, Rebecca, how do you feel about that?
How are you doing?
Is that a good seat for you?
Yeah. Okay.
Most of us who are involved in title or retired we're doing paying plan work. That's actually before.
Sure, right before the merger.
More just interesting. So actually,
So I. Yeah, great. Forward that. So I'll have
To just,
Yeah, I have to be on my iPad, 60 slides.
Really is amazing. It also did this training.
You say, oh, you fought every step of the
Very good. All the work ended a year ago, and then.
Bill, I'll get you there. He texted,
Well, I
And we just have like.
My daughter's playing a soccer game tonight at 6:30 in Lewiston. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. That's yes, but I'm comfortable now. Moving forward is better than backwards, right? That's right. 9 seconds is better than 9
I know,
How are you? How are you?
Okay, all cleared up, so.
Thank you, Kevin. It's funny, well, I was just telling the story that a lot of times I get confused that it works in my favor, but somewhere deep in me, one of the subordinates is in charge of the recycling facility. Restricted number, didn't realize that. The guy, he also knew I was the city councilor in Saco from MRCPA. He thought I was in I went in front of city council for the video. And just said, you're out there, he's a better guy than me, but it wasn't me. So we should catch up about this. I know you got this in plan here, but I took a nosedive into his books, last couple of days. The operations guy is good. It's just that I think we both said the same thing. He told us that his prices, prices are all right, the parts, probably the services too, but there's no drive time, money, all the loans, and credit cards. It's gotta regroup on that stuff. You can do something on the building, so.
I'll focus on that. I'm gonna work
Well, and also the ability to build, and I think that's part of it, because I'll just tell you, City Saco is some major things. That pre-K debate. Lewis could have already run the building, probably would have been okay, but he was a nonprofit, so that pre-K thing on and caused all sorts of mess inside. So anyway, I can see that. Getting all the rest of it, but questions. They'll still be. Great. I saw you check up the other day. Climate change, the majority of people say, yeah, there's climate change. Nobody is still quite ready to fight. Not enough people are willing to fight. So what's the answer? Stay with us every So my slight amendment to that, and I agree, and I'm requested, you got to focus on the one, and number two, across or not doing, which is public health. Really is public health.
I agree. Reid, like, I just wrote back and look at the right decisions. It really matters. The amount of money that premature mortality, people dying.
Thank you for being
It's all right. We're just talking about how to solve climate change, how to get people to actually take it seriously. You must have the answer.
why they did that. What the choices are. It's inclusive. No, it's basically just like, what are my choices? And the interview is sitting here. It's absolutely. It's actually designed for mid-May people. That's easy to do. Any form, once you send them, I hadn't heard anything mentioned. That's just our latest one was exactly now. So he contacted me. Oh, we do too, because they're not really good. I heard from somebody else. Good. I'm not surprised. Good. He's now taking back on my being president of the Advocacy. We're on 17 groups in one area. How are you these days? You're going to be busy.
I suspect that's right. All right, see you later.
Good morning, everybody.
All right, transition towards your seats with your coffee. I appreciate it. It's great fun setting up these E2 Tech events. And, powerful if you let. Good morning, everybody. My name is Marty Broman. I have the pleasure and honor of serving as Executive Director of E2 Tech. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank everybody on the live stream. Hello. This is a E2 Tech in-house live stream production, and we're pretty proud of it. I think it's working well. I know that we're going to a science class in Bangor, among many other interesting locations. E2 Tech events are free for students. And can I get a show of hands, students in the audience? So thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Could I get a show of hands, elected officials in the audience? All right, we could not do this. I hope you don't feel like you're at caucus. I know many of the caucus events are held in this very room. The restrooms are back here for both the men's and the women's. If you've attended a lot of caucus meetings here, one of the things that you know is it is possible to sneak around that side if you wish, if you need to pop out. E2 Tech events would not happen without our sponsors, and this event is different. We're very blessed to have the event greened by Maine Green Power. If you don't use this service, it's a few bucks a month on your energy bill. It makes a difference. VHB, TRC, and Maine Biz are great sponsors. Northeast Clean Energy provided us funding to put this event together. And the Maine State Bar Association, Environment and Energy, sign in if you're looking for legal education credits. We have sustaining partners. These are people who make a commitment to E2 Tech year-round. That top level, Burns and Mac, is $5,000, $2,500 at the sustaining leader level. I'd like to especially welcome SMRT this morning. Show of hands from SMRT, if you would. New at the sustaining leader level. Thank you so much. And the sustaining stewards, we absolutely could not pull these things together without you. This is the $1,000 level. It makes a huge difference to this organization, and I'd like to argue to the state. So thank you. If you are an E2 Tech member, let us email you one of these logos for your website or other marketing materials. We hope that it burnishes your image. I'm sure that it does. And a reminder on the CLEs. And one more thing I wanted to do, if I may, Commander Chris Smith, would you stand up? So Chris is our guest today. He's a commander in the US Navy down at the Pentagon. He's transitioning from his military service next August, as I understand it. He'll be moving to the Brunswick area. He's a high potential skilled executive that will be looking for work. So, very good. All right, we got a great holiday mixer. No one will be delivering remarks. It will just be you networking in South Portland at Revision Energy on December 4th. So I hope to see you there. And with that, it's my pleasure to hand things over to E2 Tech Board Chair Tom Eschner to run us through our annual meeting. Tom, the floor is yours.
So I get to follow the remark from Marty that in December, no one will be giving remarks. So thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, welcome. Thank you for coming to this annual meeting, which I'm sure is not the primary reason you're here, and to the forum, which I'm sure is the reason. My name is Tom Eschner. As Marty indicated, I'm a senior project manager at TRC in Scarborough, but it's as board chair that I have the privilege of speaking with you this morning. So in the next few minutes, and I do emphasize few, I want to run through our obligatory annual meeting. There are very few things that we actually have to do, so I'll keep it brief. So our mission statement, as you are aware, E2 Tech is Maine's leading energy, environmental, and clean tech business, economic development organization, if you will. We really pride ourselves on providing objective information for you, intelligent people, to make decisions and to formulate policy. We don't advocate for specific positions. We try to make information available that people in the state, people who are policymakers, decision makers, and just plain intelligent people can use in figuring out how to run their lives and how to live together with others. Now for something that I'm sure is somewhat somnolent, if not, if you had trouble sleeping last night, I should have forwarded this to you. This is our antitrust policy. We are obligated to make you aware of it. I can just sum it up in 2 short words: no collusion. So it takes financial resources to run a nonprofit. E2 Tech is fortunate to have a variety of income sources that allow us to distribute our dividends to you, and those dividends are objective information. As you can see, and as Marty mentioned, members, member dues provide, and partnerships, our sustaining partnerships, provide about a quarter of our income. Sponsorships provide about a quarter, and contracts and grants provide about half of our income. So it's not only important that you help us, it's essential, and we very much appreciate that. Marty also talked about a couple of folks we're working with. We have, in addition to the individual program-based partnerships that we sometimes pursue to provide a particular message out, we also have some longer-term partnerships that not only bring us income, but also allow us to share information, mutually beneficial sharing of information with our partner organizations, promoting their interests in their organization, and them promoting us. In particular, the New England Clean Energy Coalition, or excuse me, Council, sorry, too many C's, and not the other NECEC that's the focus of so much interest in the state at this time. At any rate, we are an affiliate with NECEC, and we are a partner with Bio-Based Maine. I want to give a shout out to a investors summit that we are promoting with them, tentatively scheduled for April of the coming year. So if you want to put that on your calendar, that's good. Talked about objective information to the community. The way we do that is obviously through our forums. Here are last year's events, fiscal year's events. I'm not going to run through them. No surprise, timely topics in both energy and environment. Well attended. Is there anyone who can, just like that, tell me how many total participants we had? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, okay. 1,403. And I know that only because Marty told me this morning. So if you have attended some of these, that's great. If you're looking for a New Year's resolution, put it on your list to attend more. That would be wonderful. People who have gone to these have lived to go on to ordinary lives and actually had fun. So you can see some of your colleagues and friends and acquaintances here learning, enjoying themselves. You may have seen our very own Marty Groman, Executive Director, as he indicated. He joined us on Earth Day of this year, a very auspicious start. You may also have met Adelaide Taylor. She's at the registration desk. She also is hobbling around. Oh, no, she's not. She apparently sprained her ankle. She's zipping around, helping register and making sure that things are going just right. So we welcome both of them and very much appreciate their work. Okay, E2 Tech has a talented volunteer board of directors that represents the full range of interests of the organization. The enthusiasm with which they serve is inspiring to me. Their service. Would board members stand, please? Nobody's fencing. Okay. Most of them are, okay. We do have one piece of business in addition to the statement. We also have a slate of candidates renewing board members whose terms are expiring. These people have all indicated their enthusiasm to continue in that role as a board member. I would ask that if those E2 Tech members approve of their continuation as board members, that if there's anyone opposed, please say nay or see me afterwards and we have a spot for you. Thank you very much and welcome back, folks. Thank you. If you are interested in becoming an E2 Tech committee member or eventually a board member, please see one of the board members and talk about opportunities. And I know that as you sit here, you are saying to yourself, how can I help? So first of all, you're here. That's a help. Thank you. If you are not a member, become a member. If you are a member, become a sustaining partner or sustaining steward. You can sponsor and you can join a committee and express interest in serving the organization. That's the extent of our meeting. Thank you very much for your interest. And now I will turn it over to the real reason you came here, Mr. William Ferdinand Jr. You're probably scratching your head. You may know him as Bill. It gives me great pleasure to introduce him. He is chair of the Legislative and Government Relations Practice Group at Eaton Peabody. Moderator par excellence.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone. As you know from the program, we have a panel of experts and people that are involved in environmental policy, specifically the bills of Environmental and Natural Resources Committee in the legislature. And I would say that we're not going to get into ACF or IFMW or Marine Resources, other committees that are resource oriented, but this will focus on the Environmental and Natural Resources Committee. So with us today is a commissioner from the DEP, Reid, Rebecca Graham from the Maine Municipal Association, Pete Didisheim from the Natural Resources Council of Maine, and Curtis Picard from the Maine Retailers. What we're going to do today is I have a series of slides that are by topic, and so our discussion will be by topic, and we'll show the slide and then allow these folks to comment on the topics as we go along. So as I said, we're the ENR committee. They had 92 bills this year, and out of that, 30 laws and 4 resolves came admitted during the process for the second session. So they're probably closer to 30 bills, I would guess. I don't know exactly what that's. And there is a document, if you care about what those bills were and what happened to them, and there's a good summary of them. The Office of Policy and Legal Analysis of the Legislature has a great document. There's the website for it, the link to look at those summaries. It's a great tool. So the first topic that we're going to talk about are administrative changes at the DEP. We have 3 bills here. One is to deal with the Board of Environmental Protection's authority. Jerry's probably going to talk a lot more about this. The DEP notice to municipalities and NRPA, that's more of an administrative notice to make sure that the permit or the denial for each permit goes to the municipality where the activity is occurring. And then notice of violation, this came up down in South Portland, so Senator Millett sponsored this bill, and it's another notification of the municipality of a notice of violation by DEP or EPA. So I'm going to stop right there and focus on these bills right now and let our panelists talk about them as they want to, about things that are behind the bill or things that we see going forward from the bill. Jerry, you want to start on that?
Sure. Is this mic on?
Yeah.
So the first bill about restoring the BEP's authority is probably not one of the more glamorous bills that came out of the committee this session, but I do think it's an important one. And a lot of people in the room remember a time when the BEP was a much more prominent institution in the area of environmental regulation. And that was true up until 2011, when there was a regulatory reform bill that went through the legislature that reduced the scope of the BEP's responsibilities and made some other changes to its work. And so I was in the Attorney General's office at that time, and I had an opportunity to see the BEP in action before that change in the law, and then I saw it in action after that change. And it was clear to me that the BEP performs an important role in a number of ways, and some of them are pretty obvious. It enhances opportunities for public participation, and it brings transparency to the process. But it also, I think, even more importantly, there's something inherent in the process of the DEP commissioner and the DEP staff knowing that they will have to go to a public meeting with the board, a seven-member citizen oversight board, and explain their actions and decisions and the rationale supporting them in a public session. Just knowing that going into a decision-making process, I think, has great value and almost inherently leads to a better result. So the changes that this bill made were to restore the board authority over routine technical rulemaking, and also the authority to review and approve consent agreements, which are administrative resolutions, settlements, and enforcement actions. And both of those areas are potentially very significant. And I think the board had become marginalized, and it's an important institution, and giving these responsibilities back to the board, I think, will bring new life to the board, and as I said, lead inherently to a better decision-making process. Now, I know what you're all thinking, which is that the current commissioner does not need additional citizen oversight. He's wise and he's benevolent. All those things are true. I don't want to discourage that line of thinking, but even so, regardless of who the commissioner is at the time, who the governor is, I just think that there's inherent value in having the board perform these responsibilities for the department.
I can jump in on this also. Can you hear me on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So it's everything he said is true. He is wise and benevolent, and we were delighted that he introduced as a DEP agency bill, and Senator Bob Foley was the sponsor of this bill to restore routine technical rulemaking, all rulemaking approvals to the BEP and oversight of consent agreements. Since 2011, when these responsibilities were taken away from the BEP, our experience has been that rulemaking has been really an insider's game. The public has had really no idea what is going on through the rulemaking process. It was hard for the public to find on the DEP website draft rules that were posted for comment, and it was really hard to even find the public meeting room where you could go provide comments. And so this change helps bring rulemaking back into the light of day, and I think the BEP has an important role to provide oversight, as Jerry has described. On the restoring enforcement oversight and approval of consent agreements to the BEP, that also is important to do in the light of day. Over the last 8 years, our activities have plummeted. There were many months where there were 0 enforcement actions by the DEP. It was hard for the public to understand and see when there were significant violations of our environmental laws. And our sense is that our environmental safeguards are only as good as education and compliance and enforcement. And it's important for the regulated community to understand our rules and regulations, to comply with them and know that there's inspections. And when violators are found, when there's been violations, for that enforcement action to happen and for the BEP to have a role in approving those consent agreements. And it used to be that
Yeah, and also policy on the ground. So it's really important to have their input, and it's important for them to actually have another group besides the regulators to actually talk about, okay, this is what you want to do. This is the actual impact of that on the ground. So having that board oversight is really important too, because ultimately routine technical rules are often unfunded mandates that get handed down to municipalities and impact local property tax pretty significantly. So we're also very pleased with that. The two notice bills, 1320 and 1706, those actually provide a lot of information for, again, the folks that are actually delivering the environmental regulation policy on the ground in the municipalities. So for 1320, the NRPA permits, municipalities were getting a brief application of what the action was, but the materials that were associated with that application weren't transferred automatically to those communities. So a lot of questions about someone's permit would come into the municipality first, and it takes a lot of time for municipal officials to actually chase this information out. So that the electronic delivery that is posed by 1320, as well as the inclusion of all of the materials that went into the NRPA permit to the department is really important for municipal officials to understand what it is that's happening within their communities as well. And the same goes with 1706. There are notifications that you can sign up for on email, but it is issued in a PDF format, and it's really challenging to figure out if any sort of violation occurred within your community. You have to scroll through all of those violations that went through. So the actual targeted air quality responses to that municipality provide some really timely information and save time for municipal officials. So we're delighted with this one.
Chris, anything to add? No.